My goodness, it is a windy day out here today, but that's not going to stop me from sharing some of the coolest camping gear that you should be trying in 2025. I've got a few items to talk about, some different things that are a little bit out of the ordinary, and some things that I feel like are going to add some additional comfort to your camping trips, particularly my camping trips, since I plan to be using them. Let's dig into what I think is the coolest and the most unique item first. So we're going to start today with one of the most unique and different items that I am actually really stoked about for my camping this year, and that is the Coda 12-inch pizza oven from Uni that I picked up recently from Huckberry. Huckberry is sponsoring this video today, and I appreciate them supporting the channel. I'll talk about them here more in a minute, but I'm starting with this because this is going to be a totally different cooking experience than anything that I have ever done out on a camping trip. I've not taken this out yet on a camping trip. I've been doing a bunch of cooking with it at home to really dial in the pizza cooking experience to essentially make sure that I don't burn a bunch of pizzas when I'm out in the backcountry on a camping trip. I have burned several pizzas at home so far and just trying to really figure out how this thing works. But that's the fun of a new piece of gear, is the opportunity to like test it and use it and really kind of figure out how it fits into the world of your specific needs. But I'm stoked to be using this Uni pizza oven and just change things up with my camping and just provide a different cooking experience like I had said. Now you can do more than just pizzas in the Uni pizza oven. You can do steaks and veggies and take some of the additional accessories that you can buy and use with this. It is propane fueled, and so it provides a little bit of a different experience that way in the cooking than if you were like a wood fired type of setup, but that makes it also really convenient for the cooking as well. This thing is freaking cool, and I'm stoked about this and it being, I think, one of the coolest and most unique items that you could take on a camping trip. I do want to thank Huckberry for sponsoring this video today and supporting the channel. I've partnered with them for several months here on the channel. Now, Huckberry is a one-stop shop men's online retail store where everyday carry gear for clothing items, for footwear, for camping gear, and just cool gadget types of things. And it's fun because it's a shop and a retail experience of finding things that you probably wouldn't be able to find otherwise, that they have like curated essentially to find these things that fit within that idea of adventure and a little bit of fashion and just everyday carry stuff, and it's super cool. So Huckberry, definitely check them out. I've got a link for the Uni down below, as well as some other links for some of the favorite things that I have got from Huckberry over the last few months and been using. So thank you, Huckberry, for sponsoring this video today. Let's get on to item number 2. Now, next up here is a few gear organization items, which may not be the sexiest things to talk about, but I feel like organizing your gear for your camping is so important because it makes it so you don't lose things. It makes it easy for you to find things. And I feel like just being organized and knowing where your stuff is super important. So we're going to talk about this 50-liter camp box from Gregory, which is the alpaca series of camp boxes. And then also from Gregory, a kitchen organization bag, and then this tote from Nemo. I'm going to set these two to the side here for a second. Let's talk about this alpaca gearbox from Gregory. This is the second box that I have actually got from Gregory. I have the other size that's available that was released last year. I've talked about it before in a video, but these are really cool. But you might be saying to yourself, Devin, like, why would I need to spend the money on something like this when I can go to Walmart or whatever and get like a $5, $8 like hefty clear plastic bin and it served the same thing? You could certainly do that, absolutely. But there are some key things to this that I really like. The first is the way that everything closes on the lid here. So you have two really strong latches that also make it so this will hinge because you have two other latches on the other side So I like that you have a hinging lid that also has a gasket piece here that goes all the way around the lid that just makes for a really solid, like airtight and watertight and dirt tight seal, so that a bunch of crap doesn't get into the box and make a huge mess of all of your stuff. So I love that. With the latches here on the back, I can take the lid off completely and then get easy access into everything. And it's just built really, really nice, like super sturdy, really strong. This one is 50 liters and it fits into the back of my car really well, and I can put a ton of gear in here. So I'm really excited about this particular box, but I've also got another size of it that I've been using for a bit, and they're great. I think they're totally worth the extra few bucks that you spend to organize your gear. Now, this is also from Gregory. This is a camp kitchen organization bag that is a clamshell type of opening, and that's one little gripe I don't like. I need to really fine tune how I have things set up in here, but this essentially just opens up like this and it will stand on its own. So it won't fall over, it won't be a problem that way, which is nice. But I've got cook pots and fry pan in here, some cups. I've got paper plates and a cutting board. I've got all of my utensils, lighters, little storage bags and such, garbage bags. It just is a really convenient way to store everything that you need for your camp kitchen. So I love that I have a box for being a camp kitchen specific box to put all of my stove items and everything in there, and it just be a really, really nice kit. Now, the last thing we'll talk about for gear organization is something that I've been sitting on for quite some time, haven't really talked about, but now I'm ready to talk about after having used it for several different types of trips, camping trips and general travel and such, and that is the double hull tote from Nemo. This is a super versatile organization tote bag that can also transform into a backpack. You can tuck all of these straps away, and here on the side of the tote, which I don't know that they would technically say it's a tote and then it does all of these things, but it is super versatile. These straps unclip, and now I've got a full backpack strap so that I can carry it as a backpack through an airport or my campsite, whatever I need to do. But then I have the full tote option with these handles to do that. And sling it up over my shoulder, which is nice to have loops and straps as a tote option for it to go over your shoulder really easy. And then this will just also zip closed all the way. You've got all sorts of different snaps and things. It's a really versatile, nice bag that stands up on its own really well. And I like being able to use this for all of my clothing items to put inside of the tent. So that's typically what I've been using this for. Is I'll have all of my clothing in here and it'll just be next to my bed or my cot inside of my tent. And then I have a nice, easy way to organize all of that stuff. That is definitely worth checking out as well. Now, the next item I'll talk about here real quick is this table from Nature Hike. I am pretty impressed with a lot of the Nature Hike items that are available from them. I had been looking for a larger kind of side table for me to use out on my family camping trips that could be a dining table for my kids that also provided a little bit more versatility, just a pretty good size space, as opposed to the, I think it's called the woodchuck table that I have from Big Agnes, which has been an amazing table, but it's kind of outgrown our needs as my kids have gotten older. What I like about this table is this actually has an adjustable height to it. So right now I'm at the tallest height on the table. You have these little latches right here that you just open it up and you have a huge amount of adjustments. So it's not necessarily just one or two steps that you get with a like push pin kind of adjustment. So I can really adjust this, which is also nice for being on like uneven ground. I can just level this out really easy without having to necessarily put rocks underneath it. So I can lower it down to the ground quite a bit more and have that full adjustment on the table. The top of this is made from, I believe, an aluminum material that looks like wood, like printed onto it, but it's nice and sturdy, it's good and strong, and the build quality of it is nice. This nice little table from Nature Hike that I'm excited to use with my kids and such as their little dining table or as a side table to my bigger table for food prep and cooking and all of that stuff there in camp. So check that one out, it's pretty cool. Now, a piece of gear that I wrote off for a very long time as something that I thought was pretty gimmicky or just like pretty unnecessary is a cot. And I need to eat my words a little bit because I have been using this Nature Hike camping cot for a few trips this year already, and I'll tell you what, it is absolutely a huge game changer. Like, I hate to use that word, it's so overused, but it is like such a difference in your sleep experience being up off of the ground, still providing the proper insulation with your sleeping pad so that you are sleeping warm, but to have like essentially a bench to sit on and to be inside of your tent is so nice. But let me tell you, cots are comfortable and the adjustability of this one is also super nice. I can be much lower to the ground with it and remove these legs that I've got here, or I can put the legs on and be elevated up off the ground a bit, which is nice when you're in like a fairly large tent that has a really big standing height to be in something that just gets you up off of the ground. But the other thing that I have really liked about a cot is I have all of this extra storage space underneath so I can put my clothing bags or just other things under here that makes such a difference in the space that is taken up inside of my tent. So that is huge. But I will say one thing. I'm impressed with the build quality and just the design of this cot. I don't have a lot of experience with a bunch of different cots. I have one other option. I forget the brand, maybe it's GoCot. I don't know. Anyway, this is nice. It has a good price point, and I think the value that you get out of this is just fantastic for a more enhanced and enjoyable sleep experience. The size of it is pretty standard size. If you are a super tall person, I don't know that you can get this in like a long version, but I know there is at least one other color option for this, and the pack size is also pretty small. Like, it doesn't take up a huge amount of space. So cots are cool. I'm like gonna make this pretty much a staple in my camping gear for this year and really see how it changes that sleeping experience. But the storage underneath and just being up off of the ground, having a bench to sit on, it's fabulous. So that's a cot. I think one of the coolest pieces of gear that I have tried as of late. Now, we might just be battling the wind with this one, but this is the 2025 ZenBivy Zip Trek bed. This is the newest offering from ZenBivy that has actually replaced the original ZenBivy bed. So the Zip Trek has a bunch of updated things to it. So let's run through it really quick. If you are not familiar with the ZenBivy product, then let me just kind of break it down for you here real quick. This is a quilt that is attached to a full-length sheet that is just providing a true, super comfortable bed-like sleeping experience out in the backcountry. So you have things that are really meant to be as like comfortable as possible while still trying to save weight. But from a camping standpoint, this is a really nice option because it does like pack down to a pretty small size, but it also has all of the like comfort features that you want that just make for a really nice sleeping experience. Now this is the 25-degree version. You can get a 10-degree version of this as well, but you've got two different fabrics that are being used on this bed. On the outer fabric and here on these wings on the side that basically make it so that you're eliminating any kind of drafts with the bed so that you sleep nice and warm and comfortable, is a nylon fabric. And then here on the hood of the bed, as well as through the sheet and on the inside of the quilt, is a super soft pongee fabric. This pongee is like buttery smooth. It's so nice against your skin, and it truly makes for an incredibly comfortable sleep experience. Because of the wind, I'm actually going to get into the bag, kick the dust off of my knees here. We've got like 40-mile-an-hour gusts of wind in the forecast for today, so it really makes things it's going to make things interesting. Okay. So here on this side, I've got this big wing that has a zipper attached to it. And this just makes it so that I can really easily close things up here. But then I am able to take this like top piece of the quilt and tuck it in around the pillow that is in here. Now I do have the Zenbivy pillow, but this hood of the bed of the sheet is huge. So you could put like a Hest pillow in there. You could even just put your pillow from home inside of that, and it's not going to fall off the back of your sleeping pad and just create an uncomfortable experience that way. Now, because I got my microphone right here, I got to be careful to not cover it up, but we'll just tuck in here and you'll be able to see just how cozy this gets. It's really, really nice. And I've got all of this space to move around. I don't feel constricted. I don't feel like I'm in a really tight like sleeping area with a traditional mummy bag. And I've got a like versatile type of foot box as well. So pretty easy for me to sit up and move around and get in and out of the bag. But here on the quilt, I actually have what's called their fast foot box. So I have a clip down here. See if I can get this. And then I can open things up quite a bit more for those warmer nights and just kind of drape it out to the side. But if I do find myself on a really cold night, I just take the clip here and there is a matching loop. See if I can do this with my eyes closed. There we go. So now it just like closes things up a bit more and makes for a really comfortable and warmer experience by tightening things up. Now with this full length sheet, it just adds a lot more comfort, and I don't have sticky sleeping pad against my skin, and life is just so good in the Zenbivy. So it's nice to see that they've updated and made some adjustments to the original Zenbivy bed, which also had zippers, but now this is the Zip Trek, as well as they have the Zip Overland, which as opposed to having the nylon fabric, it is a 100% pongee. So that will add weight and bulk and such. So this could be a good hybrid of a camping item as well as backpacking. So that's the Zip Trek. I love the Zenbivy. If you've been around my channel for any period of time, you know that this is one of my favorite sleeping experiences in the backcountry ever. Like, it's incredible. So there you go, Zenbivy Zip Trek. The last thing to talk about today is this little guy here, this portable telescoping camping light from Boj RV. I'm not sure that's exactly how you say the name of the company, but this thing is awesome. I think it's so important to have like good lighting options for your camping trips. This also has this little like zipper case that it comes in, and there are, whoop, don't want that to run away, 3 little stakes for you to stake it into the ground, because you'll see as this Let's see. Let's put this in the pocket here. The wind, I tell you, it's just too obnoxious today. But this like little compact thing like breaks out into a much larger package. So you have these feet that slide out. You've got cool little reflectors on it, but you also have a little hanging loop here on the bottom. You have an on-off switch, USB-C charging, and then this is where the magic happens. Telescope that thing up. It will actually go pretty tall, like, so I don't know, about chest level for me. I forget, like, I don't know how tall that is exactly, but a good height, and it'll stand with those legs there, really easy. But if it's gonna be super windy, you can use those little stakes to stake it down and make it more stable. But we'll just put it this height for the sake of talking about it. But you've got 3 light arms that will swivel up and down for you to pretty much position the light in any way or direction that you want. This will have a max output of 3,000 lumens on high. Now the LEDs aren't going to show super bright here being outside right now in the daylight, but just believe me that it is a big area that it covers with that 3,000 lumens. You also do have a light here on the very top, so you could use it as a flashlight, but that would be, I think, more an emergency type of use. But the ability to move these arms around and twist them and articulate them in a bunch of different directions to point the light to wherever you want it to go. Now you do also have 2 different light colors. You have like a more yellowish light and then a more cool white. So you can change that temperature really well. And you've got 3 different light settings as far as the intensity. So your base is 900 lumens, and then middle is 1800 lumens, and then 3000 for your highest output. So this is very versatile. It will cover a large area, and I like to put it on a table and then just raise it up all the way. And then at that point, I am just covering a huge space. It makes it really easy for you to cook in the dark and just like play some games at your table at night if you're playing cards or whatever, and just prolong the amount of time that you spend out so that you can enjoy yourself more. So this thing, I believe, is pretty dang cool. It breaks down into just that small, really compact package, makes it really easy for you to carry in your gearbox and such. So I think this is definitely worth checking out. Now it comes in at a pretty hefty price point, in my opinion. It's $109, $110, but I like it. It's pretty cool. So that is some of the coolest gear, in my opinion, to check out for 2025 for your camping trips. I want to thank you guys for watching today. If you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Hope you have an awesome day. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.